Welcome to another enlightening episode of In the Know. I am Tony Reeves, your guide through the intricacies of networking and personal growth, drawing upon my own extensive experiences. Before we dive into this enriching discussion, if you are in need of a dynamic speaker, panelist, or an engaging master of ceremonies, head over to anthonyreeves.com to submit your request. Stay informed and connected by subscribing to anthonyreeves.com. And for those looking to support, consider making a donation on the website. If you have not explored my book yet, it awaits you at anthonyreeves.com. Now, let's tackle the challenge of networking head-on. Despite my 30 years of experience in the public and private sectors, I can attest that connecting with strangers in a professional setting is no easy feat. It's a struggle that I'm still navigating. The question looms, how can we engage and truly click with others? Now, here's the good news. I have the answer. And today, we are delving into the art of networking. In this segment, part of my Lessons from a Black Leader series, we are revisiting a pivotal moment, my 2008 interview with the legendary speaker and world-renowned marketer, Dr. George Fraser. Get ready for a wealth of insights on effectively making connections and master the art of clicking with individuals. Navigating professional interactions with the intention of establishing lasting relationships, commonly known as networking, is a skill that eludes many. It's not their fault. We are inherently social beings. However, the prospect of placing a multitude of strangers in a room and expecting meaningful engagements can be downright terrifying for most. The conscious effort required to interact and establish relationships can be intimidating. Now, picture a scenario where someone takes the time not only to guide you on effective networking, but also shed light on why your current approach might not be yielding the desired results. Networking is an art, a skill, like any other, that requires deliberate learning. In this segment, Dr. Fraser unravels the true purpose of networking, highlighting common mistakes people make and outlining the essential 3 steps to master the art of effective networking. I want to start with the networking phenomenon. So many people out there have problems successfully capitalizing on what they have as networking opportunities.
Right.
What are they doing wrong?
Boy, that's a great question. One of the reasons I wrote the book, Click 10 Truths for Building Extraordinary Relationships, is to help people overcome the biggest mistake that they are making when they are so-called networking. The goal of all networking, Tony, is to click, C-L-I-C-K, to create the win-win-win. You win, I win, and God wins, or the universe wins, or the world wins. But a W3 is what I call it, the win-win-win. That's the goal of all networking. Okay. But fundamentally, the reason why most people don't succeed at this thing called networking, and they cringe, quite frankly, when they hear the word networking, is because they believe that networking is a one-step program as opposed to a 3-step process. So they go through one step of the 3 steps, and then they fall off the cliff because they don't do the other 2 critically important steps. And that's really what Click is about, is to teach you how to build relationships where you win, the other person wins, and what you create together wins. Now, let me just take you quickly through the 3 steps if that's what you would like for me to do. I can tell you what that is. So that's the biggest mistake. That's the biggest mistake. Let's call that networking 1.0. So I'm going to take you now to networking 2.0. We're going to shift your paradigm in terms of what networking is and how it works, and what everybody listening to you tonight must be doing if they want to be effective at networking and building relationships. And why is this important? Because business is about relationships. Without relationships, you have no business. Without relationships, you have no business being in business. In fact, the business you're really in is in the business of building relationships. And no one ever told you that. So let's focus on how do we build relationships. Well, the first step in the three-step process of networking is the step of identifying the people in which one wants to build a relationship with. We meet people at conferences, workshops, seminars. We meet people in the shopping mall. We meet people in elevators. Okay. Many people we identify that we want to build a relationship with, okay. And then people we meet by happenstance and circumstance. But this whole identification step is an ongoing, lifelong activity. In other words, we're always meeting new people, and we should always want to be meeting new people. So that's the first step in the process. We get their business cards, and then we put their business cards in our purse or in our pockets. That's the first step. That's what almost everybody thinks networking is.
Okay.
The second step is the connecting step.
Okay.
And this is the ongoing activity of cultivating, nurturing, and developing the relationship. And connecting, Tony, is based on common ground. Common ground is based on people, places, and things. And the more common ground you have with someone, the higher the trust level. The higher the trust level, the more willingness a person has to share key contacts, information, and resources. Now, what do I mean by common ground? Well, let's say I engage in a conversation and I find out that they're from Brooklyn, New York. Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. That's common ground. Oh, you went to Boys High? Oh, I went to Boys High. That's common ground. Oh, you like golf? Oh, I like golf. That's common ground. And the more these things that you connect and have in common with other people, the more they like you and or trust you. But you have to engage in a conversation. You have to make the connection to find out these things. And that's the second step where most people fall off the bridge. They avoid the connecting step. Now, let me say this about that. I've been networking for 25 years. I've passed out thousands of business cards. And if everybody called me that I gave a business card to, I would never get anything done in life. But here is what I know. Here's what I've learned through observation, through analysis, through studying, through experience, and through living testimony, is that 99.9% of everybody that I give a business card to will never, ever, ever follow up. They will never call, they will never email, and they will never write. Okay? So if you don't follow up, right? You cannot build the connection, so you miss the most important step in the networking process, which is the connecting step. That's cultivating, nurturing, and building the relationship. It's no different than when you plant a seed in the soil as a farmer. What must you do to that seed? If you don't do anything to that seed's going to die. I don't care whether you put it in soil or not. Right?
Oh, right?
You have to give the seed water. You have to give it fertilizer. You have to cultivate the seed, and then you have to give the seed time, and then over time the seed flowers and bears fruit in great abundance. You plant 2 corn seeds, you get 8 or 10 ears of corn. Well, it's no different than a relationship. Right? You have to cultivate it, which means you have to follow up. You have to make the connection. So people put the business card that they collected, they put it in their suit pocket or shirt pocket, and they'll put it in their purse, and then a week or 2 later, they find these cards, and then they don't follow up. Now, why don't they follow up? Why don't people follow up? Let me tell you why. Number one, they do not believe in their heart of hearts, no matter what they say, that taking the time to build relationships is important. Because if they really and deeply believed that, Tony, they would take the time to build a relationship, because people do what's really important to them. They take the time to do what's really important. So that's the number one reason. They don't really value this whole idea of relationship building. Okay? Many people think it's a waste of time. We've done studies, and people have said that in the actual studies. The second reason people don't follow up is that they prejudge people. Okay. So they find this business card in their pocket 2 or 3 weeks later. They look at the card, and they make a judgment. Right? And they make a judgment, and so they don't see that person as being valuable or being connected or being able to provide them what they're looking to get, and therefore they don't do it. Okay? So that's the second step, the connecting step. Huge step. The third and final step, and all of this is articulated with stories in this new book, Click. The third step is the clicking step, and that's where 2 or more people who have built a connection, Tony, come together, add a special value to each other, and create synergy where 1 and 1 makes 11 and not 2. Where you create the win, win, win. That's the click step. But you don't click with everybody that you network with, right? So when do you click, and how do you click? You click when three things are in perfect alignment, and this is the whole basis of the book. When three things are in perfect alignment, you click. Those three things are chemistry, fit, and timing. When chemistry, fit, and timing are in alignment, you click. You see, you and I, Tony, we could have great chemistry, great fit, but bad timing, we won't click. We could have great timing, great fit, bad chemistry, we won't click. We could have great chemistry, great timing, bad fit, we won't click. Those three things must be in alignment.
Thanks for tuning in. If today's insight has resonated with you, head to anthonyreeves.com for bookings, subscriptions, donations, and to explore my book. I am Tony Reeves, and as always, are you ready for the Anthony Reeves experience?